The only courts that are up and running are equity and admiralty. And the only thing that the equity and admiralty courts can adjudicate are those who have voluntarily consented to a contract, or those who are corporations. And we had filed with the courts an affidavit denial of corporation existence, and we had challenged the jurisdiction of the court. And when the court's jurisdiction is challenged, Alex, you probably know this, that court cannot proceed until they overcome the challenge of jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, they don't care. They don't. I mean, the government ships the drugs in, the cocaine, the heroin in openly. Police openly pull old ladies over and grab their earrings and watches publicly, and it's on the news, and the cops say, we're allowed to. If you don't like it, we got a SWAT team. You know, I mean, that's the answer. If you don't like it, we got a SWAT team. And we'll finish up with this on the other side and then get to everybody else's calls and shift gears. Stay with us. Look, everything's a fraud nowadays. The IRS didn't exist till 1913. It's a collection agency for the private Federal Reserve on record. Congress has had hearings and admitted that. And not one red cent of the money you pay goes to the infrastructure. It all goes to interest to foreign banks. Now they've gone to a new level, $14 trillion in 7 months, 14 plus trillion, not counting the $787 billion stimulus package, where they said it'll all be transparent. Now they say none of it's transparent. Ha ha! And if you don't like it, you're a terrorist. We're not going to allow you to own guns. Now, you thought the DHS report was bad. Now they have a bill citing those reports saying you're not going to be able to own a gun, veterans. Remember Bill Clinton? First thing he did when he was about to leave office was say that hundreds of thousands of vets couldn't own guns that didn't even have criminal records. And everybody, I mean, literally everybody I know former, guys that own businesses here in town who were famous UT football players. And, and I'll be at an event or something, they'll come up and go, Alex, I don't have any criminal record, and I can't buy a gun now because they say something in my military record. And one of the guys here in the office, no criminal record, tried to go buy a gun last night, and they just said no. And if you don't like it, a SWAT team will drop by. That's what the paramilitary police are about. That's what making you take your shoes off and go through body scanners and now brain scanners. That's back in the news. MRIs. Well, what's next? Well, they want to take blood and urine. They have an executive order to do it. When you get the DMV, but the illegals are all exempt. Everybody for 36 years at birth has blood taken for a DNA database, which they now admit is for eugenics. I told you that for years. Now it's mainstream news. The Human Genome Project, Cold Springs Harbor. Just search engine Cold Springs Harbor. Don't believe me, it'll be the birthplace of eugenics. What Hitler quoted as his founding place, it's all eugenics. And I know I'm ranting here. And I'm going to go to Wilson, Mike, George, Steve, and Josh, because I know you've been holding. I said I'd have open phones today, and then this came up. But Joyce, I know you'll be covering this on your show tomorrow in the morning, and then I want to have an update from you on this as it develops. We're on the KSDK St. Louis NBC5 channel. We don't see anything there yet about this. Their editors might, not let them run into. They may say she's with Al-Qaeda or something before they do. But it is Missouri where they say Ron Paul's a terrorist and libertarian bumper stickers are terrorism. And in Missouri, they announced if you criticize Obama, you'll be arrested. By the way, new listeners don't believe me. Go to YouTube and type in Missourians may be arrested for criticizing Obama. And you'll see, and the news is with a straight face. Joyce, Missouri's a great place. The show me state, hardworking, great, salt of the earth people. A lot of the folks from Missouri are the ones that founded Texas. They were from Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, places like that, Alabama. What has happened to Missouri? Or is it there's so many patriots there, Big Brother's really trying to crack down? I mean, why do we see I know this is going on everywhere. Texas is real bad, too. So is Illinois. Every state's bad. But, what is it about Missouri that they just really hate patriots?
Well, I think that it's the heartland area where if they can make the heartland look bad, they can make anybody look bad. Texas has got a reputation, but Missouri doesn't. So now all of these patriots that are springing up Missouri, and let me tell you, there's a lot of them that live in the Lake of the Ozarks or back in the Ozark Mountains and don't want anybody to even know where they live, I think is a concern for them. So the state of Missouri is attempting to do everything they can to control these people, and they use the force and the intimidation. So that's what we're seeing. And I have to tell you how much I appreciate Jim Percy, because Jim Percy was up at 4 o'clock this morning there on the phone with Don Welch. If she needed him any time of the day or night, he has been there for her. I want to give Jim Percy credit, because when Don went into the court, he was right there with her on a cell phone. And then the judge called her to the bench, and he was telling her what to do also. Now, this is not a situation where Jim encouraged her to do anything different. This is a situation where she was already doing this. She was already in trouble with the mortgage because of them saying that it wasn't paid off.
Yeah, she decided to make her stand, so folks tried to come to her aid. And absolutely. Well, Joyce, as this unfolds, well, I guess, they're going to charge her with trespassing for being in her house. They don't just take your house now in America when the armed police come with their Humvees. I guess they now charge you. It's just a real travesty. So we'll track this as it develops, Joyce, and we'll have you pop back in, and Jim, tomorrow if you can do it. Thank you so much, Joyce.
Thank you so much, Alex.
You bet. All right, we just spent an hour and 8 minutes on that, but it's so important, because this isn't where, I'm just hearing this from afar. I've been looking at this, and I've been experiencing this in Austin. And I've had it happen to me where I'm paying the house payment, and then you get a lawsuit, service, and they say, you didn't pay your escrow. And then you go, here's all the documents, Bank of America. You send it registered, and they keep the suit going, and you have to sue them. I had to pay to have a suit filed, counter-suit, to defend myself, and then they kept going with the case. No, we're taking your house. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and sue you. And, man, they dropped it. Oh, we found your escrow money. See, they're testing. Do I have a slave? Do I have a schmuck? Do I have somebody I can feed on? And, I understand the sheriffs get put in a bad position where lawful mortgages, people haven't paid, whatever. It's private property, the most sacred thing in this country. If you don't have private property, you have nothing. So, the police are trained to do this. But it's different when you know that they've sucked $14.8 trillion out. That is $5+ trillion more, according to Bloomberg, than they need to pay off all mortgages. And I keep making that point. We go on to the Smart Growth conferences, North American Union, NAFTA highway conferences. We read their documents, and they talk about, they come into cities and they go, we got $100 billion for your town if you turn all the toll roads, all the roads into toll roads, and we're going to do this for your state and that. We have unlimited money. You know why the banks are flushing money and nobody else is? They've cut liquidity off of the public. They've deindustrialized us. They're bragging. It's all planned. In the IMF and World Bank, International Bank of Settlement documents, I wrote a book about it in 2002, Descent into Tyranny. I've had BBC reporters on about it. We've had economists on. We've had, the guy that wrote Economic Hitman, John Perkins, who worked for him. It's on record that they fraudulently create a debtor system where there's more debt than there is real currency and real assets. They buy up all the real assets with it and then leave us holding the bag. It's like musical chairs. They've all got a chair. They make sure the people don't. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until we stand up and say no. Okay.